We do almost everything in the name of love. We attach, we control, we get jealous, and we use others to escape our own loneliness. But let's be honest, is that actually love? Or is it just the ego playing a clever game of emotional transaction? Society, art, and music often glorify a type of love that is toxic and fragile. They leave us asking, is this heavy, painful thing truly all there is? Jiddu Krishnamurti didn't give us a textbook definition of love. Instead, he stripped away our illusions. He pointed out that love is like a flame, one that can only burn when the thick smoke of fear, memory, and the me completely vanishes. To find it, we don't seek love. We look at what love is not. What follows are 50 of Krishnamurti's most profound insights on love's true nature. But do not treat them as definitions to memorize. Instead, view each statement as a mirror to look into your own fears, attachments, and conditioning. For it is only when what is false falls away that the true nature of love reveals itself. Let us listen and observe. 1. Thought can think about love, but thought cannot produce love. Thought can cultivate pleasure, desire, and attachment, but that is not love. 2. We possess, we are jealous, we dominate, we depend, and all that we call love. But if you look into it, it is a form of self-centered activity. Where there is possession, love is not. 3. When the me, the ego, is completely absent, only then is there love. Love is not something that you can cultivate or practice. It comes when the mind is quiet and the self is not. 4. Most of our love is combined with fear. Fear of losing, fear of being lonely, fear of rejection. Where there is fear, there is division. And where there is division, love cannot be. 5. Love is not memory. If you love because of yesterday's pleasure or comfort, that is merely a continuation of thought. Love is always new, always in the present. 6. If it is very clear that love is without cause, it has none. If it has a cause, then it is not love. It is a convenience, a self-satisfaction, a gratification, an escape from loneliness. But if it is real, it has no cause. 7. When there is love, there is no you or me. In that state, there is only the flame without smoke. 8. Only when your heart is cleansed of all the things of the mind, love is there. Then you will understand what love is that has no division, no distance, no time, no fear. Love knows no hierarchy. There is only love. 9. Wherever there is self-interest, there cannot be love. Love is not yours or mine. It is love. 10. Is it possible, through the negation of what love is not, to totally put aside everything that is not love? Then the fragrance is there immediately. And that fragrance does not disappear when you have cleansed those things which are not love. 11. If the mind, the thought, carries that joy and wants it to be repeated tomorrow, it becomes pleasure. It is no longer joy. Joy, and it finishes there. 12. I may be married, have children, sex, and so on. In that there may be affection, generosity, politeness, kindness, but all that is not love. 13. If one really sees that attachment is not love, then could he go and say to his partner, "I love you, but I am not attached to you"? 14. Love, which goes with compassion, has its own intelligence. Not the intelligence of thought or of the intellect. When you have love, that compassion, then there is no pain, no suffering. 15. When there is compassion, it has its own intelligence. So intelligence has no cause. Where there is compassion and intelligence, then intelligence itself is action. 16. Love and truth are not in books, churches, or temples. They come into being with self-knowledge. Just to be aware from moment to moment of the ways of one's own thought without condemnation brings freedom, in which there can be the bliss of truth. 17. Is it possible to live daily with that fragrance? Because compassion has its own intelligence. And that total quality of intelligence can only come about with the ending of sorrow and love. 18. If you have no love, do what you will. Go after all the gods on earth, do all the social work, write poetry, write books. You are a dead human being. 19. The moment you are conscious that you are loving, love has ceased. 20. Love is the only thing that is clean, new, fresh. It has no tomorrow and no yesterday. 21. Where there is a seeker after love, there is no love. 22. Can you love without wanting to be loved in return? The very desire to be loved is a form of commercial transaction, a demand for security. 23. To love is to be in a state of vulnerability. 24. Love is not a personal matter. It is a state of being, not an object of a relationship. 25. A mind that is seeking security in love can never know what love is. 26. Love is not the opposite of hate. If it has an opposite, it is not love. 27. When you love someone, there is no barrier of thought between you and that person. 28. Love has no power, because power is of the ego, and the ego is a fragment of thought. 29. To love is to see the beauty of everything, without the interference of image-making. 30. Passion without a motive is love. 31. If you love a tree, a bird, a human being, not because they give you anything, but because you see the beauty of it, that is love. 32. Love cannot be bought through sacrifice, nor can it be found through any discipline. 33. Where there is comparison, love ceases. To compare one person with another is to destroy relationship. 34. Love is a movement which is not bound by time. It has no beginning and no ending. 35. You can only love when the mind is totally empty of the past. 36. Love is not a duty, nor is it a responsibility. Duty is a wrapper for a rotting heart. 37. The beauty of love is that it has no boundaries, no country, no labels. 38. When you love, you are neither a giver nor a receiver. You are simply the light that dispels darkness. 39. Love is the absolute negation of the me. 40. Attachment is the denial of love. Attachment is born of fear, and love knows no fear. 41. To understand the sorrow of another is the beginning of love. 42. Love is not an emotional state. Emotion is a reaction of thought, whereas love is a transformation of consciousness. 43. You cannot search for love. It comes only when you are completely quiet, when you are not looking for it. 44. Love is a flower that blossoms in the garden of deep silence. 45. When there is love, action is always correct, always true. 46. Love does not seek to reform another. It accepts the fact of what is. 47. If you love your children, you will not educate them to fit into this corrupt society. You will help them to understand it radically. 48. Love cannot be organized. The moment you organize love, it becomes a religion, a sect, a dogma. 49. To love is to have a heart that is completely open, without any wall of self-protection. 50. Love is the supreme intelligence, and it is the only thing that can save mankind from self-destruction. 50 insights, 50 mirrors, but they mean nothing if they remain just words on a screen. True love is not something to be discussed. It is something to be lived, from moment to moment, in the absolute present. As this video comes to an end, and the sound fades into stillness, are you ready to look into your own mind and clear away the smoke that hides the flame? Thank you for walking this path of inquiry with us today. Share your reflections in the comments below and subscribe if you wish to continue this journey of self-knowledge. Until next time, stay in awareness.